Revolutionary greetings, comrades. This is Comrade Pidgin Odimwengu from Kenya. Once again, I want to salute you all, comrades, wherever you are. Today, I want to do a follow-up of the discussion that I've been having this week about racism that happened in Tunisia against our black people. And I'll also touch about xenophobic issues that are happening in attacks that are happening in South Africa. First thing I want to make very clear. I don't know how you define yourself as black or African. To me, an African is anybody black with black pigmentation or melanin. We are called the colored. We have the red, the yellow, and the black. And that's why to me, any black person, wherever he is or she is, either in the Caribbean, in the American, in UK and Europe, he is African because of the definition of his skin color. And I believe Africa, as the vision of Marcus Garvey, should be for Africans. And when you talk Africa for Africans, it's Africa for blacks. Now the Arabs who invaded the North Africa were not Africans, they invaded Africa. They all survived to be in the North Africa. Some of them, you realize very well, some of them were either not even willing to be part of African Union. They see themselves more of either to be in Europe, or the Europeans. We are not against. But one thing must be very clear. They should not attempt to discriminate Africans based on racism on African continent. That's the worst place that this act of racism should take place. Our brothers are suffering in the United States, in UK, fighting against racism. And we cannot allow racism again to be met on our Africans in African soil. It cannot. A message to the Tunisian president. I've seen the Tunisian citizens have demonstrated actually to oppose the statement of the president. I want to remind the Tunisian president and Africans in the north, Arabs in the north. As Nkrumah said, he is an African, not because he was born in Africa, but because Africa was born in him. The fact that you belong in African continent do not make you African. But you have accepted to coexist. This must be respected. So, the people of North, the Arabs of the North, it's very simple. Respect Africans or pack and go where you came from. If you cannot coexist with us in Africa, we cannot allow you to discriminate us in the continent. That one will not allow. So either respect our Africans, don't throw them away in the name of their skin color. In fact, you are the person who is in their homeland. And the best we can do is to coexist. The Arabs are the same with the Boers in South Africa. They know where they came from. They are not Africans. And that's echo the word of Tom Mboya in 1958 conference in Cairo, where he said, there will be no white, black, white African, whatever African, what Africa, we don't need all those. Africa will remain for Africans and for Africans. But you've decided to exist. Now you are dividing Africans based on religion. The question I want to ask my fellow Africans, why do you see yourself as a Muslim Africa and a Christian Africa, and that a Muslim Africa like in Nigeria are fighting Christian? My friend, no Africa is a Muslim or a Christian. Christianity and Muslim, whatever, or Islamic religion were brought to Africa. They found us here. And we could not and should not accept to be divided and to fight against each other in the tags of Christian and Muslim. We are one. United by our melanin, we are one. We are blacks and we are Africans. And we should not fight each other based on our skin color. Never. And we should not allow that. That should stop. Xenophobic attacks against Africa and South Africa must stop. The boundary that divided Africa were drawn on a table in Berlin with people who took a paper and drew the boundary. Then today we are fighting and killing our fellow Africans because they're in our country. They are immigrants. They are foreigners. Foreigners to where? Any black person in Africa or anywhere else has freedom to come to Africa and is not a foreigner anywhere. We are fighting to borderless continent, united continent. We cannot afford to attack each other in the base of, you come from this country, you're not for this country, you are a foreigner. Should stop. Brothers from South Africa must get me clearly. Never fight any other black man from Nigeria, from Kenya, that they are foreigners. Foreigners to where? We are found here in Africa. Africa is our place. We are not foreigners. You know foreigners very well. Fight foreigners. We are at war. But will not pick war with those who are not at war with us. But he who attacks us, the blacks, who will defend ourselves. And we will not tolerate it. They enslave us. They colonize us. And they still want to kill us and rule us through the puppet leaders in Africa. The black, white spiritually. The leaders in Africa are black in skin, spiritually and emotionally white. And they are puppets of the whites. African and Pan-Africans must now start to invest in their leaders. Let's have Pan-African leaders. Let's invest on our leaders. Leaders who will be Africa in spirit, Africa physically, Africa at heart, and who can advance the goal and the vision of a greater Africa. As I wind it, brothers in Congo, Rwandese and Congolese should stop fighting. We cannot fight because of borders. We are one. Brothers who are killing Cameroon, the Cameroon government must stop it. You cannot fight Africans because we are one. The arms and the ammunition we are using to kill Africans are not manufactured in Africa. They are manufactured by the white for the sole purpose to kill each other, reduce our number so that we can finish ourselves. Then they come and occupy this continent. We will not allow it. Hotep, solidarity comrades, solidarity forever. One Africa, one blood, forever.